Well, guys,
it's Sunday.
You're not listening because this isn't our normal time, and you don't listen anyways.
Hopefully my mom will listen to this one on YouTube.
Yeah, that's the hope for the. If we have devoted fans, then they're gonna have to go out of their way on YouTube. Hopefully although I'm glad that our content is available in another form, I do worry that they'll see like some memes in a linked video or in like the here's what you want to watch. Why are there other videos when you click on a video that you're just going to be...
It's competition I did not sign up for.
I know. Like, we should make our own website for this, and then no one will listen.
We'll have to check to see if there's like more views, if any, on this video compared to all the other ones.
Make like a wiki page for it.
We have our guest talking before she's allowed to.
Excuse me?
But we should have a wiki page. Although, we don't have that much... It'll be more of like a very convoluted timeline of Amy Long's lost chances at love that we have tried to provide for her. But that's okay. So yeah, this is a day earlier more than 24 hours actually, since I guess it's 26 hours ahead of time.
Noah's a math major.
Fresher than ever. Although going with the lawnmower metaphor that our name is based around, like I don't know if this is like fresher or like are we just filming this before we normally mow? Is it going to rain tomorrow maybe?
Are we killing the grass by cutting it too short now?
Yeah, this is I hope that's not symbolic for like our show quality or anything.
Well, we have like a month and a half left.
Yeah, but I think some of our best content is coming up.
Amy Long's going to come back, so.
Yeah, and we have another Amy today because we like mixing things up.
She is white though.
Yes, last time I said we needed... We need to stop mentioning this on air. Yeah, we need more diversity on the fresh cut.
There's probably someone listening, like, wanting Jesus music because it's Sunday and then they have this. I'm so sorry.
I like that more. You're in for the ride of your life.
Sunday
People stop the car.
67-year-old.
Janet.
Oh,
Sunday,
too specific.
Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day.
With the fresh cut.
Yes. And just so you know, 67-year-old Janet, we do say stripper on our show, so you want to just turn this off now.
Maybe 67-year-old Janet is a stripper.
Then you're going to have quite the time. That's the only naughty word we know we're allowed to say. Is it really naughty?
I don't think
In terms of radio. In terms of what we thought we were allowed to say, that's...
We still can't say the word I want to say on the radio.
Mud puddle? It's a dirty word.
Ew.
Off the show. You're done. We only have one Amy now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's... Imagine mowing and you see that. That's just inconvenient.
Ugh, rude.
But, yeah. I would say listen to us on YouTube, but I feel like you're probably on YouTube if you're listening to this. So, shout out to my friend Keith for requesting audio of one of our shows. He never talked to me after I sent that, so I don't know if he liked that or not. He probably hated it. It's fine. But if he did like it, or if he were to listen again, we love him very much. Today with us, do you have any housekeeping, actually?
I think the housekeeping is that this is Sunday and not Monday.
That's true. We don't really have any... We don't have a lot of news updates for the first
Amy Long will be on next week.
Yes, and once again, maybe she has a shot at love. I'm starting to think she's a little picky, actually. But I will not judge our beautiful,
campus princess,
eccentric, slightly picky campus princess.
I did play FIFA for the first time last night and picked Manchester United. I think that's her team. I picked
Are you sure?
red
Because
team.
wasn't there this whole thing where they had like two Manchester teams, so she hates Nick Baylor because of that?
Manchester City is the other one. One time over
I hope you got the right one.
I think I did. Over spring break, we were talking about Twitter, and we said something about Twitter likes. So we sat through and scrolled through each other's Twitter likes because I can't retweet everything I want to because, like, people look at that for jobs or whatever. So if it's really political or really inappropriate, I like it. And so we were sitting there crying. We looked through each other's stuff for, like, at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And I learned a lot about soccer.
I'm about to graduate, and I haven't really filtered my content or my retweets too much in terms of, like, being inappropriate or whatever. But that's fine. Hopefully they'll respect me more. I won't link to my Twitter on my ePortfolio page.
Well,
Your LinkedIn account.
I think.
That you
LinkedIn.
never get on. I'm still waiting for that friend acceptance.
I've been on there a lot this semester.
Really?
I have a class where we.
Maybe I'm the one who hasn't been on LinkedIn.
Don't. You're trying to like call me out, but I'm the one in the clear here. You're not even allowed to talk yet.
Oh, okay. Excuse
All right.
me.
Our guest for today is the wonderful Amy Shumaker. Yes, it's another Amy. Don't get confused. Yes, she's still white. Don't get offended, please. Well, get a little. You know what? Why don't you like call in and be like, "What's your problem?"
Except we might not be able to talk to you because that's what happened last time.
Yeah. Well, we've gone long enough without phone calls. I kind of miss them now. Amy Shumaker is our. She created our logo and does our graphic design work that we don't actually require that much. It was like one time we needed to make some ads, but they look great. I haven't seen the chapel one because I don't go to chapel anymore. Milligan is a Christian school, if you don't know that. Sorry for shoving our Jesus in your ears. I'm not trying to do that. I was just trying to mention chapel. He's a nice guy, though. Felt bad. I felt like I sounded like
You're
mean
blasphemous.
towards Jesus. Yeah, so I felt like I had to say that so as to be, because Jesus gets offended so easily. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways,
You're not
getting
a
into
Bible
the
minor.
blasphemous section so early. This really isn't the most like
haven't-
Christian show ever
haven't
for a
even brought
Christian
up the-
college.
I haven't even brought up the Pope yet this time.
We have JD on. JD loves the Pope, but he's not Catholic, so it's really fun to talk to him about the Pope.
It's fun to talk about the Pope in general.
As a
You know,
former Catholic, it's
Yeah,
always fun.
Erin Donovan would be happy to die if the Pope killed her. She told me that once. But yeah, Amy made our advertisements. The one in the grill looks great. That's another Milligan place. So if you don't go to Milligan and you're my friend Keith, I guess that's weird. I really don't think Keith is going to listen to more than one episode of this show, but I don't know who
Don't
else
doubt
listens.
Keith. My mom.
And I'm happy. I'm so happy for that. But like,
I think my mom knows where the grill is.
it sounded like you said gorillas. Thought that was funny.
They're actually from England.
Amy Long, welcome back.
Amy Shumaker also does our photography, and by that I mean she had a photography assignment in her class once that she based around us and went into those ads.
But my class really liked those pictures.
Did they?
Oh,
Yeah.
Why? They should listen then.
yeah. You should have said,
Hypocrites.
I will only show you these if you sign a contract to listen every Monday night
Dang.
for the rest of your life.
It's unfair, but that's life.
No, maybe we can do a podcast after you graduate and keep this up.
Well, I mean, the only way I
What?
know how to record. It's Sunday. I don't know. I'm not used to talking on Sundays. That's a listen day. That's a sit on my couch and do nothing day.
Pet prison dog.
Yes, I pet my prison dog. All right, now that we've officially announced you, make sure you come closer to the mic to talk, Amy.
Hello.
This isn't secret anymore. This isn't funny. This isn't a game. This is life or death.
This is the fresh cut.
Yeah. You know what happens to the guests that don't do well? They are cut till they're not fresh.
I did the Pitch Perfect cut off thing.
I did not like that joke.
Which, Pitch Perfect or my death kind of murder joke?
The death kind of murder joke.
Oh,
It's a
the
little
death.
morbid for
Oh,
my
the
taste.
death kind of murder joke. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
It's
That
a
was a
little,
little.
morbid.
Wait, can we go back to the podcast?
If you're a
idea?
Fresh Cut fan, you should be fine with morbid. Janet. Yes, the podcast.
I think that's a good idea. I just thought of it, but I'm gonna pursue it while on the radio, so you could reject me and record it for all to hear.
I like that idea. I mean, we're doing this show because we don't get to hang out as much this semester, so we're gonna I won't even be at school anymore next semester. So if we need more time, it makes sense to just continue this as a podcast.
Because I know that there's podcasts where they like call each other and do it long distance. I'll Google how to do a podcast.
If I'm still in the area, it would probably be easier for us to like meet in person. But if you like the thrill of like cyber connecting with your friends, that's a weird word.
What was that TV show? Cyber, whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Cyber
It's called
Kids.
CSI Cyber.
Amy wins.
The one from PBS.
Yes, I loved that show.
Like there was like a dodo bird or something on there. And they traveled through the internet. It's really early 2000s concept before the social media came out.
That's how my mom should have known that I was going to be a comm major.
That show alone. Yes. You know, because we all watched Sesame Street means that we're gonna live in the middle of a secular community with large birds.
Now I have that song stuck in my head. Amy and I were talking about how whenever someone says birds, the song Feed the Birds from Mary Poppins gets stuck in my head because I did that show. But it's kind of a weird thing to constantly have stuck in your head. Not as weird as Elmo, but that's what Noah always has stuck in his head.
Yes. My most constant song in my head is the theme to Elmo's World, but who can really blame me? It's pretty catchy, although it is the least substantial segment of Sesame Street, so shame on me.
I get that.
I think I'm going to record, save that as a soundbite and then, make that your ringtone.
I get the Caillou theme song, too. You know Caillou?
No.
Yeah. Paul, did you think he was bald or had cancer when you were a kid?
If you Google...
Yeah, I've Googled.
If you Google, does Caillou have cancer, the single funniest article on the web will pop up. It's about, I think it's a football player made some comment about it once. And so this...
I wonder if I can tweet that.
The sports... Yes, you should. The sports website... I don't know about sports. I don't want to, butcher names or anything. I don't remember names either. But the sports website, there's an editor that went with that because he was a fan of this athlete, and he just trashed the show, and it is my favorite reading of all time. I'll help you find it once you Google that.
But that was a great story, but you didn't answer my question.
What'd you ask? He doesn't have cancer.
But when you were a kid watching the show, did you think he had cancer, or did you think he was bald?
Here, let me read to you what this says.
Is it by Anita's Notebook? That's the first one that's coming up.
This is a conspiracy theory. I just want to point
I don't
that
think
out.
it's that. It's
Kenny Suit's here.
Oh, with his son. How cute.
I've never seen the son before, only the daughters.
All right.
This is my second Kenny Suit spotting of the day.
This is from SB Nation. It's called Arian Foster Hates Caillou, and you should too, and it's by Spencer Hall. March 26, 2014.
This is not... Oh, here we go. That is the 5th. I'll tweet the link, though.
He can't grow hair, not because he has cancer or progeria, but because he sucks.
Yeah.
And even his own body recognizes that he does not deserve hair or food or love. There's some other really good quotes in here. Let me see if I can find some real quick.
I'm just going to send it to my entire family group.
It's really good. Here's another quote. Caillou started out life as a cartoon baby, and when he got bigger, the animators simply gave him longer legs and arms. At his rate of current growth, Caillou will look like a human version of a daddy long legs when he reaches adulthood.
I just tweeted, I needed to text it to myself, so I texted it to every member of my mom's side of the family in our group chat.
It's a good read.
What an odd article. I would say it's like a ClickHole Onion article, except it's actually true.
It's very...
It's actually a real
I
article
love
that
it.
somebody has made.
Yes, and I don't want to read through the rest of it because we have other things we can talk about, but it is a good time. I would highly recommend it to any of our viewers that, need that Sunday reading.
Can I elaborate on something you mentioned earlier?
Sure, Amy. It's not your show.
She is our
Yes,
guest.
politely. Thank you.
Politeness doesn't get you anywhere on the Fresh Cut.
You want me to be a little
Should we
more
do the
mean?
Trash Your
'Cause I can
Family
do that
segment
too.
after this?
So you said earlier that you had a default song stuck in your head.
Yeah.
If you could force that default song onto somebody else and have that song stuck in their head, what would that song be?
Is this malicious or
Anybody.
nice?
If you
are we picking a bad song for them to deal with?
Well, no,
Just
you
whatever.
have Elmo. We
It's
already
it's up to
decided
you.
that.
I mean,
But if you could make somebody have a song in their head, what song would that be?
Oh.
Like that's their permanent default song that they have in their head. They just see you and they just think of, oh wow,
I know
He
what
really
song I'm
likes-
picking.
he really likes Africa by Toto.
Do you guys know Cupcake?
stop. Yes.
I don't know this song.
Oh, it's not Milligan Radio appropriate, but her number one song. We'll listen to it afterwards. I would stick that in everybody's head.
Are you going to link to that on Twitter?
I'm going to just tweet Cupcake with no context, except if they listen to the show. Except,
Make sure you spell it right.
I retweeted our stuff, and Gibby liked our retweet that you tweeted. So he might be listening. He might not be. But he's not a normal responder to the fresh cut tweets. Doesn't really...
Well, does he should come on the show then. Anybody that gives us any sort of attention is welcome to come on the show.
Gibby Mills, if you're listening, please talk to me in humanities tomorrow. We will get you on the show.
Maybe you should talk to him. If he doesn't, give him like a few weeks, but then we need some quality content for those last few weeks.
I think
And I don't know him, so I don't know if he's quality content or not, but
I would say he's quality content.
that's okay. Well, that's good.
If he's not listening, we just spent a lot of time talking about someone that's not listening.
That's all we do here.
My cousin just responded to the Arian Foster is right guy who was awful, and he said, "Didn't read that, Erin, but I like the title." Thanks, Nick. Oh, I meant to click. Oh, and he laughed at it.
No. Oh, that's good. I've never actually laughed at anything in
I
my
just-
text, which is why I say haha or LOL instead.
See, I like to just hold down, and that way, like it says that I laughed, but like I can type the whole message without having to type it out.
It's because Noah's ironically cynical.
Well, I don't know. I feel like at some point I just decided, like, I feel like where I'm at in my messaging skills is fine. And I just haven't made the insanely easy efforts to, like, hold on to something and do a reaction because I haven't really decided if it's on brand for me yet.
You still want to stay in touch with that little flip-out keyboard phone that everybody had in middle school. You don't want to upgrade to the
I liked the
new
slidey
world.
one I had.
I had a slidey one. All right.
Creepy. That was fun.
The NV3, I think was what it was called.
I had the Xenon by Samsung.
That's way cooler. What was that Disney movie? Princess Xenon or whatever?
I have no idea what you.
We've gotten so far off track. We're almost 20 minutes in the show and have not talked about a conspiracy theory.
This is a loose episode, but that's what we promised. It's Sunday. This is our day of rest. We can't be thinking too hard or being too natural. To answer your question from earlier, from before time.
God?
Oh, I don't want to get into like those big, like, bigger than him or rock. You know what I'm talking about? Can God like make a rock that he can't? I don't. That's just.
What are you
I find
talking
those.
about?
Have you not heard that? Like, can God create a rock that even he can't move?
Yeah.
I find that is not like a. I think it's kind of a dumb question. I don't know. There are more fun Well, that's not a conspiracy, but there's like more fun like
like a
kind of
riddle.
mind games to think of.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think the world would be a better place if they all had Elmo's world stuck in their head. I would send it to other people. Because it's the only way I know, and Elmo sucks, so
That's
makes
so-
them
so
consider like,
innocent.
am I being like, where am I in my life as a person compared to Elmo? Because Elmo's pretty selfish.
There's a whole documentary about him on Netflix.
Why?
Because he's a puppet and it's him and his dude. No, I didn't watch it. I don't like puppets.
I've
It's
heard
me.
bad stuff about his puppeteer, or there was some accusation. I don't remember.
Yeah, someone else told me that.
I don't want to get into that on the Fresh Cut. That's
Hey.
not the fun kind of conspiracy.
Why don't we cut into some conspiracy theories I have brought with me today?
Good.
I think you just cut our show. It's hard.
Gibby might not be listening anymore.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
lost Gibby.
Sorry, Gibby. I didn't mean to hurt you. My bad.
Janet. Hopefully Janet's still around.
Janet, from what I know of her, based on the assumptions we made about her age and social economic status, I don't know that she knows how to change her radio station. There's a reason she's listening to Milligan Radio. She might maybe it's just stuck in her car. Like she can't change it.
Well, the Lord is pleased.
And so are we.
Can that be our tagline?
I like that. I think that's pretty good. Caleb Purdy might not, our producer may not go for it. He didn't actually even want us to record this today, but this was easier than our other ways of recording it and putting it on tomorrow. I don't know if this is going on Monday or not yet, but if it is and you are listening on Monday, whether by radio or because you decided to be a traditionalist and listen to the YouTube video I'm going to put up at our normal time, which go you, I guess. Have fun.
Enjoy.
I feel like this is a once in a lifetime chance. You don't usually get to listen to the Fresh Cut on Sundays unless
It's like,
they're all on YouTube, so you could very easily. But
You couldn't listen live on the radio.
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds like a Soulja Boy song.
yeah. You can still call in right now on a Sunday. You might like upset the Pharisees if you put that much work into it, but that's a Jesus joke. Hashtag Jesus joke. That's
also,
my Christian college reference. of the
shoving
day.
Jesus in your ears. If you're listening and want to do something fun this weekend, the reason we couldn't record tomorrow is because I'll be at play rehearsal. Milligan College is putting on Rabbit Hole. I'm running the soundboard for it. If you want to come, well, you could watch me, but you'd have to just sit backwards in your seat. If you're going to kind of watch other people and listen to what sound effects I play and transition music, I don't remember if we open up on Wednesday or Thursday. Probably Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Play
Check
some
us out.
Elmo's World.
That'll be some pre-show music.
Ooh, I like it.
There is a 4-year-old son in the play. I wonder if he likes Elmo.
You could have just said a 4-year-old.
Well,
Any, like,
plot
4-year-old
of-
boy is going to be a son.
well, he dies. The whole thing is about the fact that he's dead.
Wow, way to ruin the
4-year-old.
No,
purely.
that's people know, like, going into it that that's what it's about.
Okay.
It's not a spoiler.
Oh, that's like the main...
That's like what the whole thing's about.
I actually already have my tickets ready.
Wow. I didn't know you were coming.
Yeah. Should I be excited? Can I get your review as someone that does sound for it and can't really say bad things about her friends if it is bad?
Once we memorize lines, it'll be good.
It's the week of. That's a little scary. So
Nah.
let's just drop this for
You're
now.
telling me.
Hey, you don't have any lines. Well, I mean, I guess you have to know what they're saying. You have to hear it, at least.
My mom just put in the family group chat, she told my cousin Nick it's totally worth reading the article about Caillou.
It is a very good article.
And then, you remember the video I told you about my aunt? She said, my aunt sent us a video on the same group chat. We don't know why. About trees, and at the end there's a skull that she finds. She said, I watched until the end, and the skull was the best part. What kind of skull? Did it die there, or was it killed? My mom, this should be on CSI.
What a wild family
Very-
group chat.
Good investigative skills.
So,
But
I
it is a
have
very good article. Speaking, are you going into our main thing?
I was
'Cause
gonna
I was
try
gonna
to.
segue.
Yeah, I was gonna try to segue, but
All
it's
right.
your show, so I'll let you
Yeah, I
segue.
get to do the segueing.
Yeah.
That's a very good article. Speaking of good articles, consider the word "the" followed by another. Is that an article?
That was an article.
Okay,
It is
thank
an
God. The followed by the word "room."
Oh boy.
I believe film fanatic, friend, and fan Amy Shumaker wants to talk about some The Room-based conspiracies. Crappy movie that it is.
It's the best movie of all time.
I'm gonna give a brief plot synopsis so people kind of understand.
Yeah, sure.
Here, you want to take my mic? They don't have to link.
Oh yeah, that works. Ooh,
There's the
I love the
squeak.
squeak.
Amy was a true fan. Knew about the squeak.
Oh, Erin just hurt herself.
Oh no.
I'll survive.
The fresh bruise.
Wait, at least it wasn't a fresh cut. Then we need some band-aids.
We don't have any.
So the room.
Cut. I really looked down to try to find the cut. Go ahead. Sorry.
So the room is this character, and his name is Johnny. He's played by the actor. He's the main star. He's the director, the producer. It pretty much is a one-man job. His name is Tommy Wiseau, and he plays this character named Johnny. And Johnny works for this bank. He's wealthy. He thinks he has everything, and he's engaged to this woman named Lisa. But Lisa decides she doesn't like Johnny anymore for some reason. It's not really described. So she decides that she wants to have an affair with his best friend Mark. And that's kind of what it's about. But it's so poorly made, and the dialogue is just so incredibly cringy that it has become sort of like a cult classic. And it has a big following. They've made a documentary about it. It's called Room Full of Spoons. They've made a movie about the making of the film called Disaster Artist, which is a little more well-known. It's directed and starred in by James Franco, and his brother Dave as well. He starred in it.
They've re-released it in theaters and stuff
They
since then.
have.
It does really well. It's probably the most famous
At the moment,
modern bad movie all time. And I mean, it's hard to strike that. It's not something you go for when you're making movies, but it's hard to strike that balance of being bad and all the good, enjoyable ways of bad.
10 times better than
That's
Manos
how I would
Hands of
describe
Fate.
myself.
The fresh cut.
So some people say there's a lot about the creator Tommy Wiseau that people don't really understand, because he never wants to say what his real name is. He's changed his name. Tommy Wiseau is not his real name. Wiseau being the mispronunciation of bird in French.
It used to be Frank Franck.
Actually, they looked it up. Somebody actually found it online. It's something like Tomek. It's something Polish. I have it written down because I prepared for this.
Kenny Suit's wife.
What?
That was a weird reference to a professor.
Oh, okay.
Whose wife is Polish.
Yes. That's the only Polish person we really know.
I found his name.
That's not true.
Okay. It's the only Polish person I know. Way to make me look uncultured.
But his
Racist. Did you say racist? I just am not culturally experienced enough in regards to the Polish community yet, okay?
I just couldn't forget to do that.
I'm a little confused. I look over and Erin has FAFSA pulled up on her computer. It's a little strange timing to be filling out your FAFSA.
She
My
gets
mom-
bored.
My mom just texted me and said, I need this done. So I pulled it up that I would remember to do it after the show.
Oh, moms.
Hey, she backed me up on the Caillou article. I gotta do the FAFSA for her. Alright, back to Tommy.
So people don't, like I said, people don't really know a lot about him. He refuses to say where he's from, his age, where he got his money. The Room has a $6 million budget. It does not look like it at all.
How did he get that?
Nobody knows.
I think he killed someone for it.
There's
The original Tommy Wiseau.
he killed the Tommy Wiseau, lured him into a back alley. No, people say that the people who were working on The Room, the production, like, staff, whatever.
I would love to be the production crew of this movie.
Yeah, you know, it would have been amazing. They think it was a pyramid scheme. And then Greg Sestera wrote a book about it called Disaster Artist that they rated the movie off of. He's the second actor in it. And he thinks that Tommy Wiseau was having a relationship with a very wealthy old woman and that she died and left him all of her cash. There's several different
Is that
theories.
where Grand Budapest Hotel comes from?
No.
I kind of like the idea that Tommy is really good at something else in life, and it made him a lot of money.
But do you want to know
And
what?
then he became really bad at films, but I believe that's made him a lot of money too.
But wait till you hear what Tommy's excuse is for all of his money. He says that he had over $6 million from selling, wait for it, leather jackets in Korea.
Which one?
What are you talking about?
Which Korea?
Oh, he doesn't say. I don't think he actually knows. Probably South Korea, but are we really going to trust this man who is just a bottomless pit of money and he can't even, like, function properly as a human? He's so strange.
I feel very uncomfortable knowing there is someone in our country that potentially has very high connections with North Korea, considering the geopolitical climate we're in right now.
What have you seen Tommy though?
I feel like North Koreans would pay a lot of money for leather jackets if they came from Tommy Wiseau.
I would.
Is that racist?
I would
Well,
pay
I mean,
a lot
they're
of
like
money
sheltered
for a leather
and like
jacket.
they're hidden, and so like.
What are you talking about?
We don't know if anything's racist because we've only had white people on our show. We don't have
because,
the.
like, listen, let me.
We're working
explain.
on it.
It's like your whole life you've been living in North Korea. You don't know what's real and what's not because of a dictator and propaganda. And someone comes in and tells you that like a leather jacket is sold for $1 million in the U.S. They're not gonna know otherwise.
How did he get that information across to them?
He's going and telling them there. I'm trying to yell. I am loud enough. You know, it wasn't a racist comment. I just needed to make sure everyone knew that.
I don't think anyone thought that, but the more time we say that we're not racist, the less time we spend looking.
We are
not
in the
racist.
South.
Yeah,
I'm not from the South though. I'm from.
I grew up here in Gray, Tennessee, and I actually it was
am a
mostly white. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm racist, and I try my best to get to know or understand people of different backgrounds than me. But it is weird to grow up in this area, and because it's very easy to Actually, Daniel Peacock from a couple shows ago and I were talking about how we were kind of comparing the Midwestern hospitality and niceness with Southern hospitality and niceness, and we were saying that we find Southern hospitality to be more genuine, and part of that came up is racism, and we said that Southerns were better about it. They're still very racist, but they have less experiences with people from. This is our theory. They spend less time around people from other backgrounds because they like grew up in gray like I did. So they don't actually know. They don't have the experience to know how to be like effectively racist. They just get scared, which is racist in its own way. That was our theory.
That was way too deep.
That was an attack on the Midwest. I'm sorry.
I'm from the Northeast.
Good.
So
she's not racist.
Yeah. Philly's not racist. Free Meek Mill. Go the Eagles. If you'll remember my tweet, if you are a Patriots fan, please turn this off. I don't need your support. Except actually now we beat you, so you're fine to listen. If you're a Tom Brady supporter, turn this crap off. Actually, we're not crap. I just get really heated. Amy, back to you.
The Room.
Oh, okay, so
Why can't we stay focused?
Tommy says he's from New Orleans, but he clearly isn't. His accent is atrocious. He has only confirmed that he's from Europe, like, this year. He went live on Jimmy Kimmel. James Franco brought him along for probably one of the strangest interviews I've ever seen on live TV.
I'm gonna need to watch that.
Tweet out the link. It's James Franco took him on the show with Jimmy.
That was only one of the strangest interviews you've seen on live TV because The Fresh Cut is a radio show.
But he, like, slurs his words and leaves certain words out that are kind of important. So he comes across kind of insane in his lines in the room. Like, I don't want to, like, impersonate him because you can't. I mean, the only person that can do it is James Franco and maybe Greg Sestero, because he's such a character. But he's really strange in the fact that he's, like, so elusive. And he loves James Dean. Apparently, like, loves him. Has, like, a lot of his movies and books. But the way that Greg describes him, it seems like he's never actually seen one of his movies. Like, for example, in The Room, there's this part where he's having a conversation with Lisa, and she's like, accusing him of something, and he goes, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa!" And if you've seen Rebel Without a Cause, James Dean he kind of, like, screams, "You're tearing me apart," but he's talking about, like, his parents wanting him to go in a different direction, and he can't decide what he wants to do, because he hasn't found himself yet. It's a really great film. If you haven't
love
seen
that movie. We actually had it.
So
we watched it in our
good.
class. We had a film class together, me and Amy. And we watched it. A lot of people in that class didn't like it.
I loved that movie.
I know.
I didn't understand
I think they didn't
at
get
the
it.
time.
Yeah, I think on the first watch you might not pick up. It's really all about, like, family and those kinds of relationships and how
Is
they're
there a
what you
scene
wanna
where
do with your
people
life?
die with the car off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
watched-
that's the film.
I watched like 45 minutes of it in high school. Then I skipped for the rest of the movie.
It's such a good
It was
film.
film studies. That was a class. That's why we were watching it.
But Tommy's just... He's so strange. I know I'm, like, saying that over and over, but the more I think about him, it's just, like, what is he doing with his life right now? Like, what... I mean, he pretty much subsists on residual pay from The Room. It recently came back into theaters, but he has his own showings of it, and you can go see him on tour. He has been on tour with this movie since 2003, because that's when it came out. It's, like, the one thing he's made. And
My friend met
it's-
him on tour.
What?
Yeah,
I'm so jealous of that friend.
so am I.
But he also has an underwear line, which if you buy a copy of The Room, you get a pair of underwear with it if you buy Blu-ray on his website. So I don't know how to feel about
It's
that.
weird
but
that,
that's how he thinks. And he has a Twitter account, and if you go on there, he like has just tweeted the letter F sometimes, or like, "What's your favorite sauce?" or like, what are you thinking about right now? But of course he'll like leave crucial words out. So he's so strange.
He's been able to, like, ride on the success of The Room without, like, completely, like, obliterating his image or whatever.
Yeah.
It's weird, like, how he's still doing fine with that.
He's still going.
Normally you'd think, like, someone from that, like, they would mess things up at some point. because we see those kind of weird, like, people that become famous all of a sudden often will, well, a lot of it comes down to, like, they'll say something like racist or something.
Well, he just like, I think he wants to be an honest person, and he wants people, I think he just wants people to like his movie, but he wants them to like it so much that he forces it on them. But I can talk a little bit about trivia from the movie as well.
Well, first, I just want to point out that you mentioned
Silly.
you were wondering what he was doing with his life, and it occurred to me that is a very liberating thing to do, to wonder what on earth other people are doing with their lives.
Well, I mean,
because we're college students, life's stressful. It's nice to look at someone else and be like, what are they doing?
I mean, on more like a day-to-day basis. Like, he's so unusual, and he's so, like, he's so secure, and, like, he doesn't want anybody to know anything about him at all. Yeah, I mean, only Greg really knows these things. And when he wrote this book, Greg wrote the book about Tommy denied all of it. He was like, none of this is true. He's like, it's only like 40% real. But when they made the movie based off the book is also called Disaster Artist. When they made the movie Disaster Artist, he told James Franco it's 99.1% accurate compared to the book that's only like 40% accurate, or 34 or some odd specific number that he enlists. It's on that Kimmel interview.
I'm tweeting it currently right now.
It's a wild
A lot
ride.
of tweets today.
He also always wears 2 belts, and nobody really knows why.
Support.
That's what Greg thinks. Basically, the way that they met, it's in the movie too, but Greg is like this 19-year-old, and he's in improv classes because he wants to be an actor and a model. And he meets this, like, he thinks he's like 40 years old, but nobody really knows how old Tommy is because he refuses to say. And he meets this guy, and the way the movie comes across is that he really, like, helps him come into himself as an actor and come into being this self-confidence that he didn't have before. But it's just such a weird relationship between the two of them. Like, this friendship is really odd because Tommy just does what Tommy wants to do. And at one point, he, in the book Disaster Artist, he's terrified of deer. He calls it, like they're driving down the road, and Greg's like, hey, look at that deer. And Tommy starts screaming incoherently, just for no reason. He's like, what a monster.
I have a friend that's afraid of wood.
Wood? Please elaborate on that. That's a little strange.
Well, I just felt like I needed to defend Tommy there. There's a squeak. But she cannot touch, like, she can touch trees, but, like, if, like, you have a wooden dinner table or, like, a wooden chair or anything, like, she can't touch it. She's afraid of it. I think there's a splinter fear behind it, but she just says, I have a fear of wood. And so I think a fear of wood is stranger than a fear of deers.
Fear of Wood, great band name. Not a great stripper name.
WWE?
Weird baby name. Yeah, WWE, it's not good either. Fear of anything is not a good name for WWE. It's not very intimidating.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got. I just wanted to defend Tommy. Okay, here comes the squeak.
Yay!
I liked that squeak.
Yeah.
Had, like, lasting impact. Like, I hope the Fresh Cut has on its listeners.
Exactly.
We've tweeted a lot. I retweet all of our tweets on my personal account.
So I have another kind of conspiracy that I brought with me today. It's not about the room, but it is one of my favorite conspiracies to talk about.
Go ahead.
Erin doesn't like this.
I know, Erin does not like this conspiracy, and I'm sorry for this, Erin.
This is the true life.
This is the true life. And
conspiracy theorists.
Exactly.
There's a cruise where you can go on, and it's just you go to classes about conspiracy theories.
This is a cruise?
I think that's what I want my honeymoon to be.
I would also like to go on this cruise.
I'm not marrying you, though.
Yeah, this is not one of our matchmaking days, Amy. Back off.
I just want to go on that cruise. So, I like music. If you know me, I'm actually wearing
Way to sound like a
Clash
human.
t-shirt right now. Yeah.
She likes good music, though.
Oh,
yeah, that's
thank
true.
you.
She's very refined in her tastes.
Well, I
Like a good
appreciate
wine,
it.
I hear.
We
People
can't
say
drink
that about
that
wine.
here.
Cheese.
Cheese, yes. You're like a good cheese.
Am I like a well-aged mozzarella?
Why don't you just continue?
So apparently people say that Kurt Cobain, if you don't know who Kurt Cobain is, he was the singer for Nirvana back in the 90s, that he was murdered by his wife. There's also a theory he was murdered by the Illuminati.
The Illuminati that's just a go-to for any conspiracy.
That's true. And the third conspiracy revolving around Kurt Cobain is that he's currently still alive and he's still in the music industry. However, he's actually Rivers Cuomo from the band Weezer. I don't know. I tried reading up on that one, but they didn't have a lot of evidence, but I did think it was rather amusing to think about. He doesn't even sound anything like Kurt.
That's a very weird conspiracy. I think you showed me that one. It sounds like fan fiction. Like,
it really
I like
does.
this band. I like this band. This guy's dead. He should be this guy.
Lady Gaga and Shania Twain.
Yeah, sorry, Brittany, but the Lady Gaga, Shania Twain, still not feeling that.
One late, dark, stormy night, Kurt goes to his door, opens it, and finds Rivers Cuomo there with a bag of burritos. You said it was like a fan fiction. I was trying to write a fan fiction about it.
That is the last thing. Well, actually, we do. This show is mostly fan fiction.
This is
Conspiracies and weird games and stuff.
But like I was saying about Kurt Cobain, the real conspiracy theory that makes more sense than all the others is that he was murdered by Courtney Love for his money. And I'm not making any of like these facts up. There's a documentary on Netflix about it. It's called Soaked in Bleach, and I highly recommend it because it's really well done.
A lot of recommends this episode. I just want to say, like, if you decide to do anything that we suggest this episode, it should be the Caillou article. My thing. It should be what I said.
Oh, of course.
No, Erin. My mom will back you up on it, so.
I'm sorry. That makes me feel bad. For, like, your family. For your sake.
We'll get to, just wait till the trash bag family.
Yeah. You got it so easy.
Alright, back to you, Amy.
So Kurt, he went missing for a whole week before he died. He just went missing. He just left, and nobody knew where he went.
That happened with Edgar Allan Poe.
It did. But nobody hired a private investigator to find him. But they did with Kurt. Courtney actually.
Sorry, Poe.
Yeah, sorry, Poe. You just kind of. Is he the one that went crazy and locked himself in a room and then tried to make a death ray? No, that was Nikola Tesla.
That was Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage isn't even dead yet. Yeah, but his acting career really is. Let's just face it.
I like Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona is one of his shining achievements. One of the few far.
Yeah, he's like that's a genuinely. That's not good in a weird way. It's
like a legitimately good film. Yeah, he does a really good job in it. He doesn't even act like himself at all, which is great.
Yeah.
We've got to find the Declaration.
The directions they must have given him, the Coen brothers, must have been like, all right, so you know what you're doing there? Yeah, no.
Don't do that. Don't be yourself. Be someone else like you're supposed to when you're acting.
Try acting bad. Do bad acting.
Do what you think would be bad, and it's probably good.
What were we talking about? This has been very disjointed.
We were talking about Kurt Cobain.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he's dead.
He is dead. But Courtney Love, when he went missing, before he died, Courtney Love hired a private investigator to find him. And the documentary I was talking about is actually, it's not put together by the investigator, but he is the one that explains the story. It's actually him, not like an actor pretending to be him. And so he is going through all this stuff and nothing adds up. Courtney won't give him any credit card numbers so that he can track Kurt where he goes, because, you can find someone by their credit card number when they use it. And all this stuff. She won't give him any
It's also a good way to
information.
pay your private investigator.
This is true. Well, so he is sent in all these false directions by Courtney, because she won't give him the right information that he needs to find Kurt. And we do know that Kurt checked himself into a rehab, before he died. Which is strange. If he's going to overdose, why check yourself into a rehab and then overdose? And the crime scene itself was never actually investigated because it was ruled out as a suicide, and they didn't feel the need because it was a big rock star and they just wanted to get it over with because of all of the press. So it was never actually investigated as a homicide, and there were so many indiscrepancies with his murder scene, or with the crime scene where he died. The gun that he used was, like, it would have had to be upside down and his wrist, like, completely twisted around for him to use it. Because it didn't make sense the way that it was laying down, like, when they found it.
Maybe he had carpal tunnel.
I don't know. And, like, the note that he left. And it's getting really depressing. I'll say something a little lighter.
Don't worry.
After. But the note that they found didn't sound like... There was, like, a paragraph that kind of sounded like him, and then at the end it sounded nothing like him at all. It just didn't match up, like, the way it was written either. And there's, like, a lot more that I'm leaving out, but it's definitely worth your time if you're a big fan of Nirvana. Of course, the band members have actually weighed in, like, Chris Novoselic, who's the bassist, was like, Kurt killed himself, he's dead. Like, there's no way. But his grandfather, Kurt's grandfather, thinks he was murdered. So it's, like, a double-edged sword, like, who thinks what? It's, like, based on opinion at this point. But, so, that's my conspiracy theory. Any thoughts?
No, you go first.
How come Kurt Cobain gets the only, like... He's the only one that people... You can't stop people from their conspiracies, but they've been nice enough to, like, us. For the most part, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like they accept that he is dead. Every other one, it's like, oh, yeah, that's some other guy now. Avril...
You can do it.
Avril Lavigne
Rivers Cuomo.
did it. We don't know.
We don't know. Call out Rivers Cuomo on Twitter. Are you Kurt Cobain? Because he's on Twitter really a lot. He's also really weird on Twitter. Have you ever looked at Rivers Cuomo's account?
No.
He tweets really odd things, like, hey, having a ramen noodle party in my basement. It's like, what are you thinking, Rivers?
He should be friends with Tommy.
He's a 6th grade boy.
So, I mean, like, I'm not kidding. And we have photographic proof that people think this is a real conspiracy. They really don't look anything alike either.
No, their lips are different.
Neat, so are their noses.
Yeah.
So,
Glasses on.
keep
Well,
that in mind.
Case closed.
Yeah, they don't
Case
look anything
closed.
like-
Well, we
On
can
that
roll this one out.
specific one. So I guess my next question for you about Kurt Cobain would be, Amy, what's your best lawnmower noise? Welcome to the Fresh Cut.
Wow, it's only, 48 minutes in, and...
I do the... This
It's
is a
supposed to
stream
be
of
a surprise.
consciousness show.
Okay, that's fair. Do I really have to?
Yep.
I mean, you can make us feel bad if you want.
That was probably, like, the worst noise.
Well, we
Out
did
of
talk
all
about
of
the
them.
Okay.
room.
That was a Roomba in a washing machine. That was not very good,
Oh,
but I appreciate you trying.
I can do better than that. How about I give you an impression of Art Brown talking about the lawnmower?
Yes.
Sure. Another professor.
Yeah, he's the graphic design professor. And whenever we're in there designing, there's always lawnmowers.
That's where we came up with our name.
Yeah, exactly.
Credit to Erin Donovan.
So, Art...
I do what I can. I have a few talents. One of them is naming radio shows based off of lawnmowers.
We can't get anything done with these lawnmowers. It's almost like obscure reference from the 90s.
I'm gonna write
Beautiful.
a poem about
Thank
it.
you. What?
I'm gonna write a poem about it.
about the lawnmowers and creativity?
Yep. Stay tuned for next week.
Please make a lawnmower poem for next week. You even have an extra day.
And yeah, you got it. If Dr. Seuss was an emo that wrote poetry. That's what I'm gonna...
Emo Dr. Seuss, great band name, great stripper name, great
I don't like
Great baby
weird
name.
WWE name, and
Baby name.
weird kind of self-fulfilling prophecy baby name.
I don't think I like it for a stripper. I don't want Dr. Seuss stripping for me.
Emo.
Isn't his name like something Geisel? or
Yeah.
something?
Even better. That'd be a really good, like, prog rock
Yeah.
name, Geisel.
Geisel would be such a great band name.
I do like
I love
Dr.
it.
Seuss.
Geisel is like one of those bands that you're gonna find playing in like a European city, and they're gonna be discovered by like they're German or something. They're gonna be discovered by this big band like Cage the Elephant. And they're like, and our opening act is Geisel, and then they just kind of sound like a garage band, but not that good.
But then you can't tell if you just don't get it.
Exactly.
That's the key to if
That's
you're
the
going to
thing
be
about
bad at anything.
That's the thing about obscure European rock bands is that you just don't get it. Like I heard this band one time called I'm not allowed to. No, wait. This was like a garage band. I'm not allowed to say their name because it's not a very nice name. But they're a very small German band, and they came on the stage that we were at, and they were like, "Now we are going to be playing a song that we wrote. I hope you like it." And it was garbage.
Do you know Iron
The
Tom?
band Garbage?
No, it wasn't a cover of the band Garbage.
Do you know what?
It was like this obscure, weird mix of noises, and I did not understand.
Do you know Iron Tom?
No, I don't know Iron Tom.
I'm gonna steal the mic back because I'm quiet.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I went to.
You can squeak as much as you want.
Thank you. When I cough, I sound like Squeaky from Toy Story, but
It's pretty cool.
it's just a trip. That'll be on the bottom of my Wikipedia page.
Squeaky from Toy Story. Not a good band name.
No. When I went to see a band
Great
named
baby name.
Confused. When I went to this band called Finish Ticket, great band, check them out. They opened up for 21 Pilots the first time I saw them, so they're really good. We loved them so much when we went back to see them, and it was them in Vinyl Theater. Don't really like Vinyl Theater, but they're okay. But the opening band for them was this band called Iron Tom, and it was awful. And Finish Ticket loves these guys, and it's the side project of the bassist, I think, or the guitarist from AWOL Nation.
Oh.
It's his side project, so I was expecting good things. It was terrible. And you have to just watch a live video. This guy dances like he is having a seizure. And I'm not trying to be mean. It genuinely is that way. And he wears this weird headband, but he has like bangs, but he wears it underneath the bangs, just on his forehead. And his voice is awful. And I'm like, am I just not getting something? What am I missing? I hate this. I just said they're a whole set. I'm going to play a video for them after. I'll tweet the video. It was just bonkers. Squeak.
If we're talking about bad band experiences, I have a whole load of bad band experiences. I went to a concert recently at the Barter Theater in Abingdon. It was the guitarist for the violinist for Jack White. Her name's Lily May. And I was sitting in the seat. And if you've ever been to the Barter, they're like seats that don't move. They're built into the theater, and they're like really nice plush velvet seats. And these two people were changing a baby's diaper, like, right behind me during the middle of the performance. And then they managed to get the diaper stuck in the lady's hair beside me after, like, they were finished changing. It was so gross. I was like, please take your baby outside. Like, this is a concert. This is a nice experience for me that you were single-handedly ruining with changing this baby's diaper right now. Like, that's really weird. Don't do that.
I'm just glad businesses are making the efforts to be more accessible to parents.
That was not accessible. That was them forcing themselves to be accessed on by... I don't know.
I don't like what
I
you're
didn't
saying.
like that either. I'm just gonna erase that a little bit. You can edit that out.
I could.
You should.
I won't.
Please. Oh no.
This is live.
Oh no. Now I've made a fool of myself in front of Milligan College, and I, shamed, must transfer to...
You just made a fool of yourself in front of Janet, so don't worry.
Janet, I'm
Gibby.
so sorry.
Maybe
I'm
Gibby.
sorry, maybe
Gibby came back.
And maybe
You're
I'm
listening.
sorry, Gibby.
Message me on Twitter and we'll shame Amy. Just kidding.
Oh,
I don't even know if you can hear me. I can like see my wavelengths.
I don't really listen to our things when I put them on YouTube, but I like check parts of it, and you can usually hear when someone's talking from a distance.
Good.
It's not like our audio is probably that great anyways. These aren't like super
This is
fantastic
Milligan
microphones. Yeah, these are like broken anyways, so I don't worry too much about it. I don't think you should
Boy.
either. But I do want you to be heard. So even if that means squeaking.
I feel very validated right now, Noah. Thank you. I'm tweeting the Iron Tom video currently. I'm going to tag them. I feel like they're small enough. They might actually respond.
What if they look into it and hear you talking about how much you hated it?
Well, I'm sure they're great guys.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Iron Tom, if you're still listening, I don't like your music, but it doesn't mean I don't like you.
Aw. Sweet ending.
That was beautiful, Erin. It's about time we got some like joy and care for other human beings on this show.
We just want to be morbid.
We do like to be morbid here.
I'm not part of your show. I'm a guest.
There's more
today.
sunlight this time. I think that's the thing.
It's
Feels more
making us-
uplifting.
Yeah.
I think I tweeted about them before, and they did like at least like my tweet. So I really am wondering if they're actually gonna.
This is our shot. This is the big time.
We
Or
could
the
get-
small big time.
Good band name, Small Big Time. Nope, Big Time Rush ruined
Bad.
that one.
That's
Bad
what I was
name.
thinking. I was also. We prefer iCarly for our live action Nickelodeon shows for teens or
Wake up
tweens.
the members of my nation.
I bought that. I bought that song because I loved it so much
It's so
as
good.
a 5th or 6th grader.
Erin, because you are the ultimate iCarly fan, I think maybe next week we need to have
An
the
iCarly.
ultimate iCarly quiz.
All right, I'll start studying. Noah last night came up to me and asked if I had seen. He said, "Erin, which one was it? I don't even remember."
I mentioned, I was talking to, I think Amy actually, and I mentioned the episode of iCarly where they have a picture of a pregnant man.
Yeah, that was earlier today, I think. Or was that yesterday?
That was yesterday. I didn't
Yesterday,
see
I
you
remember
say.
you telling me about that because I was so confused about why that had to be on the show. I was like, "What is this?" But while we're talking about bands' claim to fame, I would just like to say, when I was in middle school, I was in high school, I tweeted something and it was liked by the bassist from Smash Mouth, and I have photographic proof of this.
I think AWOL Nation might still follow me on Twitter.
Really?
This is a big event.
That's so much cooler
Let's see.
than my little.
Oh, they don't follow me anymore.
Oh.
But I do have photographic evidence that they used to. I
That's
saw them
good.
live and I tweeted about it. Then they just followed me for at least 2 years. Taylor Swift follows me on Tumblr, but I don't really use that Tumblr anymore. So
You should.
yeah, maybe she'll notice me. I shouldn't talk
Post
about it.
about the fresh cut, then you'll get her to listen.
I'll come up with Taylor Swift conspiracy theories.
Is it
I'm
Becky?
bummed. Last time I checked, they
Suitcase.
still followed me. I wonder when they unfollowed me.
If Taylor Swift, if you're out there, Becky. Apparently that's a Taylor Swift reference.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's
What
like-
do you want to talk about?
She wants
Because-
to talk about Poot Lovato.
We've talked about
We have. That
Bring
was
it
a good
back.
time. But I think right now should be the time for Erin to finally and truly trash her family.
You have 2 minutes.
I don't know if I have that much trash for them, but
Take out the garbage.
one of the better jokes I've made was my friend Madison, who's been on the show, called herself garbage. I said, "You're at least recycling."
Oh.
Aww.
A lot of heartwarming
Touching.
stuff from you.
I'm just a great gal. Mom, if you're listening, I'm going to trash the fact that when you listen to Music Buff Live, where I performed with another listener, Mitchell Hancock, who we've talked about, you said Noah was your favorite part. Even if that's the truth, you still tell me that I'm your favorite part. I'm your
Yeah.
freaking daughter.
Yeah. That makes me feel bad even.
Well,
I have my own parents that support me. I don't need someone
isn't
else's.
your mom's name Erin?
Yeah, it's confusing. I'm worried I'm going to text you one day and I'll be like, "So what time are we having dinner?" Or, "Do you care if I come over right now?" And it'll just come across as super creepy. And you should just say, like, "Please tell me you're texting your mom right now."
Now I really want this.
Or act like outraged. Like, "How dare you ask me about my son that I don't have?"
That you could make it more confusing in your family if you have like a son or nephew named Aaron. So it's like Aaron, but is it the guy Aaron or the girl Aaron?
Oh, speaking of my children, and sorry to interrupt you for a bit, Erin, but Amy, you gave us succulents for Christmas. Mine is now dead.
You killed Egg?
I didn't mean to. Its
How
name was
dare
Egg.
you?
I don't know if mine's dead or alive.
How dare both of you? I gave both of you a succulent. Out of
I
the
was
bottom
over-
of
It had
my
a
heart.
decent
I
life.
love.
It lasted over winter break where I didn't water it for a month
Yeah,
because I
mine-
couldn't fly at home.
mine
But then
did
over
too.
spring break, I was like, I'll give it some sunlight. I think there was too much because I didn't water it for that week. I came back and it's black.
It's
But I'm
dead if it's black.
Well, I'm still trying.
It's been a couple weeks now, and my wife hasn't talked to me since because she thinks we'll never be able to have children because I killed the first one.
Well, it's 6 o'clock, so what a perfect note to end on.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for being willing to do this special Sunday episode.
Thanks to Janet and Gibby for listening.
I was worried I would have to do it on my own tomorrow, and it just wouldn't be the same without you, Erin.
Thanks.
I don't know which of us is like the bread and which is the butter, but
I'll be bread because that's more easily vegan than butter.
It's like, have you seen How I Met Your Mother, where they have like 3-piece costumes, like Lewis and Clark and the canoe? Or,
Oh yeah, I have seen
why would
that.
they
It's,
just
kind of like the canoe is like your guest star.
Well, Erin is the bread, I'm the butter, and you're the canoe.
Thank you.
All right. Well, my family
Make-
sucks. There's my trashing.
Make
and-
the Lord's
Just
face
kidding,
shine
guys. I
upon
love
you.
More Jesus.
It's Sunday.
Sweet.
What's the
You're
benediction?
dismissed. Go for it.
Fair enough. Have a fun Friday.